Hello and welcome back to Oversea Auto Reviews. Today I am back at Dwayne Lane's Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram to review this revised and updated 2021 Dodge Durango RT. Now without further ado, let's break this car down and complete a review. Now for 2021, the main focus for the redesign of the Durango was the main front fascia. Now the most significant change are these headlights. Previously, this was just a bunch of squares, but now we have LED running lights, which do look quite nice to make the car look a bit more classier. However, a lot of people do think that this makes the car look less aggressive, which I do agree with, but I do prefer these headlights because one, they will provide with better visibility and also just dress the car up a lot more. Another change is this front grille. For 2021, it's been opened up and has a bit of a wave design going on. Along with the bottom, this also has a more open style. On the right, you will see our fog lights with a pass-through vent for extra air to slip through the vehicle, giving it more aerodynamics. On the bottom, we do not have the tech group, therefore this car does not have adaptive cruise control. The module for the cruise control does go in this location right here. Here you will see the parking sensors, which do come in handy when you are parking in a tight spot. Since this car is quite huge, you will definitely be needing those. And on the top of the Durango, again, 2 extraction vents and 1 intake vent, which do power the 5.7 liter V8 Hemi motor this vehicle does have. Now underneath the hood of the 2021 Durango RT, we will find the same 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8 Hemi motor. This vehicle still produces the same 360 horsepower and 390 foot-pounds of torque. With those numbers, you will get to 60 in the same 6.4 seconds. Now this vehicle does have the tow group 4 package, which gives us a bigger radiator for better cooling. Now with all of that in mind, this vehicle can tow up to 7,400 pounds. Considering that this is only the 5.7 liter variant, that's very good. Moving on to the wheels, you will see these fine silver 10-spoke 5-armed wheels, which do look quite nice. In my opinion, they look better than the 2020 and 2019 Durango's wheels. Those wheels looked a bit odd, but these wheels look a lot more better and they flow with the car a lot better as well. Now these wheels are 20 by 8 inches all around. They're nice width for what the car weighs and how large it really is. Now these brakes are the standard ones, but if you did get the tow and go package, you would get 6-piston Brembo brakes all around. Now moving on to the side of the 2021 Durango RT, you will see that's pretty much the same as it has been for the past 5 or so years. On the front fender, we still have the Hemi badging. This does not have the black top package, so it is in silver. These mirrors are also red. The color of the vehicle is red line 2 pearl coat. Does look nice, too flashy for my taste. I would go with a black, but to each their own. On the side, you will see that the B-pillar has been painted black to give the side mirrors a nice and flush look. Now the rear windows have also been tinted, which do give it a more aggressive approach when you do see it from the side. One thing to note about the Durango in its side profile is that you can really see how long it is. It's a nice long wheelbase, so if you do prefer vehicles that are larger, this is the vehicle for you. This car also comes with keyless entry. The vehicle is locked. Slide my hand in, open the door. Now if I want to leave, I can close the door, press the little black button, it locks, and you can walk away. Works really well. Now fuel consumption for this car is pretty good based on the segment. Considering it's a 5.7 liter V8, you'll get 14 in the city and 22 on the freeway. At the rear of the 2021 Durango RT, you'll find that not much has actually even changed. I did review the 2020 Durango RT, and it's almost identical. Now we still have these racetrack inspired taillights. When these are lit up at night, they give the car a nice presence. You can tell that it's a Durango. Now at the top, everything is still the same. This spoiler seems to be a bit larger though. We also have reflectors over here. This is the rear windscreen wiper. Small, works pretty well. We also have the chrome Durango badge along with the 4 badge. This signifies that this is the 4-wheel drive variant. This vehicle comes in both 4-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive for 2021. If you are planning on getting the Durango SRT or Durango SRT Hellcat, those only come in 4-wheel drive options. This is also the RT badge here in chrome. I prefer the black top package on the vehicle, which will turn the wheels and all the other badges black, but if you do want to save a bit more money, you could skip those. On the lower portion, we have this trailer hitch cover. This vehicle does have the Trailer Group 4 package, which gives us a larger radiator, a Class 4 trailer hitch, and trailer braking assist, which does come in handy if you are planning to tow with this vehicle. Now for 2021, if you do want to spend a bit more money, more specifically around $5,000, you can get the tow and go package, which will give you a performance exhaust, lowered suspension, wider wheels, and a bigger radiator as well, along with what the Trailer Group 4 package has to offer. Personally, I would definitely go with tow and go just for the exhaust and radiator. At the rear, we also have the trunk, which opens like so. We also have this very nice carpeted rear trunk with the 12 DC volt over there. We also have under cargo storage, which is nice and spacious. You can store some personal belongings in there if you would like. We also have a nice cubby over here, and the insert for the tonneau cover that this vehicle does not come with. You may have to buy that separately. We also have the trunk close button over here, which you could simply press and move out of the way for it to close very, very slowly. Now let's conduct a trunk test. Alright, so the trunk is open. I am now in the trunk. Let's close it. I have the key, press it twice. Voila. Another nice feature about the Durango and its key is that we have remote start. So right here you have the key, right here is the remote start button. All I have to do is press it twice, and the vehicle starts. Now to disengage it, press it twice again, cuts it off right there. Now we will be moving on to the third row, but before I do that, I want to show you how to actually get there in the first place, because that is quite important and quite easy with this vehicle. So the first step is to have the seats all folded up like this. You have the latch for these reclining seats, should tumble down like this. Now we have a red strap over here, pull it up. It's almost effortless to get the vehicle's seats up like this. Now we have a nice passageway to get into the third row, and I will show you how nice and comfortable it is back there. Now we are in the third row, and I've got to say it's quite spacious back here, except for the headroom. I'm 5'11", and my knee room is really good. I have about 3 inches and about another 4 to 5 inches of footroom, at least on this left side. On the right side, there's this divider between when the seats split, so footroom on the right side is worse than footroom on the left side. So if you are taller, prefer to sit on the left side. Now, previously in the last year of the Durango, I had better headroom, but now if I put my head all the way back, it hits this weird dome-shaped thing at the back. I do not like that because last year this was not an issue. Now, on the top, we also have these lights which do swivel around. They have a yellow tint, which I'm not a fan of, but it's the third row, so who really cares? We also have these air vents back here to keep your third row passengers either warm or cool, however they like, based on the weather. I think that for a mid-large sized SUV, this is a really good third row, and the Dodge Durango has been complying with their passengers very well for the previous generations of the Durango. And I do like that part about the third row. Now let's move on to the second row, and I'll show you what amenities we have there. Second row seating is actually pretty nice in this vehicle as well. I have this seat set to my desired sitting position. I'm 5'11", like I said, in the rear. I have about 6 inches of knee room, about a couple good inches of foot room, and about 3 to 4 inches of headroom. Again, headroom has been compromised for some reason in this 2021 model year. I don't know why, but the previous generation Durango did do a bit better. Now this vehicle also has the rear DVD Blu-ray system for $1,195. In my opinion, I'd skip that because, one, I feel like it makes the vehicle look outdated. I don't like the way that these look on the sides of the seats all the time. It also makes the center armrest space a lot less, so I might want to skip that. maybe if you have kids, just buy them 2 iPads. They'll still be cheaper than the price of these Blu-ray screens. Now, this car has the black captain's chair with the red stitching. I do like those quite a bit. Now, this Durango also has the base seat configuration at the rear, which gives us a total of 7 seats. Now, you can make this a 6-seater by getting either the captain chair's configuration or the captain chair configuration with a center armrest if you would like. Personally, I'd skip the armrest and just go with the simple captain's chairs because it gives you an additional pass-through for the rear seats, so you do not have to fold these seats down. Another thing about these seats is that they recline backwards, so all you have to do is pull up on this lever and push yourself back. You'll recline backwards, and I quite like it because on a long drive this is quite comfortable. I have personally spent quite a few hours on this specific seat. I've got to say it's really comfortable, feels good on a long drive. This vehicle does not have the suede headliner, but we do have these controls, and one thing I do like a lot compared to the previous generation is that the chrome has been turned into piano black all across the car, and it definitely dresses up, makes the interior feel a lot classier, which I do love about a car. We also have these netted mesh interior compartments for the rear seats. This car has heated rear seats and these vent controls for the seats as well. Along with that, we have a home style outlet along with 2 USB-A ports. Overall, a very nice second row for a mid-large SUV. Let's move on to the front. On the passenger side of the 2021 Durango RT, I've got to say it looks a lot better than it did last year. This vehicle has been oriented towards the driver, meaning that you feel a bit secluded on the passenger seat. Personally, I like that feeling, but a lot of people may not. So if you are buying this Durango, then do consider the fact that this is going to be a lot more driver oriented versus passenger oriented. This is the semi-leather wrapped dashboard. It doesn't feel like real leather, it probably isn't, but we have the real leather going all the way through into the start stop button with the red stitching, which does look quite nice. Legroom here is very, very nice as well. We do have these piano black accents instead of chrome accents, which I do like a lot better as compared to the previous generation where everything was just wrapped in chrome. Now with the infotainment system as well, this has been changed to a gloss piano black, which is a lot better than their old weird tacky looking Uconnect system. This looks a lot more luxurious and more Jeep oriented, if you could say, because it is a bit more luxurious than it was last year. That is a big step up for 2021. Now with the storage bin, it's really small. You can't really fit much in there except for the owner's manual. We also have a 12-volt outlet right over here. Now let me show you the door panel and then we'll go into the cockpit. The door panel on the 2021 Durango looks a bit better than it did last year. We have the Harman Kardon sound system for $495. Gives us a nice surround sound feel in the car when you're driving. If you do listen to a lot of music, that will come in handy. Again, we have this weird blank switch over here, which I don't know what the use is for. We also have the lock and unlock switch with the power window switch over here. We have a large cubby for a water bottle and a smaller cubby to store other things like papers. We also have this black leather piece, thread stitching as well. I also like that the door locks on this car are silver, make it look a bit classier. Now on the driver's side, you can see that the door panel is pretty much the exact same as the one on the right side. This blank switch on what the passenger side was is the controls for the memory seats, which this car does have, and it's pretty nice. Now on the left we have our light controls. You can change those and you can also turn them off with this button. We have this nice piano black finished vent, which does look good. We also have that black leather trim with the red stitching, which runs all the way into here, which is really, really nice. Now if you did want to adjust the wheel, it's tilt and telescopic, which means that you can change it to your desired position and it will lock with the memory seats as well. Here we have our semi paddle shifters. They're cut in half because we have our menu buttons and our volume buttons on the right side. With the paddle shifters, personally I prefer the full paddle shift, but this car does let you redline if you want to while paddle shifting, so at least they work well. Now we also have our turn stock with wiper controls. Those aren't too important and I'll skip them. Now on the right side we do have our trailer controls. Now these are very important because we get the trailer group 4, and with that you can choose how high or how low you want your trailer, and that works pretty well as well. Now let me show you what the infotainment system is all about. For 2021, the main focus for the Dodge Durango was to dress up and modernize the infotainment system, as they have done very, very well. I do like the way this whole piano black centerpiece fits with the car, and it flows throughout the whole design with the dashboard as well. Now we are at the home page. You can see we have a split screen between the map and the radio stations. I do like this because we can either press this to expand it from the top left corner. I'll show you everything we have currently at Dwayne Lane's Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and it's parked right here. Now if we go back to the home screen, you can configure these to your liking by clicking on My Pages. For the media settings, you can have either your plugged-in device, your Bluetooth device, or Sirius XM if you have the subscription. You can also go to your audio settings. This has the Harman Kardon sound system, so you can have a balance and fader along with the equalizer, adjusting volume, surround sound, and the rear seat media, which is heavily outdated. As you can see right now, it is an outdated media system, so that's why I say just skip it completely. Now for the comfort settings, you can see all of the passengers do have a racing helmet on, which is a nice Easter egg which Dodge implements. Now if I turn the climate control system on, you can see the ventilation system options over here, along with the options for your heating and cooling. We also have heated and cooled seats, which are changed through these tactile buttons on the dashboard itself. Now for navigation, again, crispy clean, very nice and smooth, very, very responsive, almost like a smartphone. Now we can also go into our phone settings. You can either connect your Android or Apple device, and it will wirelessly connect to either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay depending on your phone. You can all control that through here. Now for vehicle settings, you have your display and such things like that. But if we go into performance pages, you can launch those, and I'll show you all your performance pages. Now previously, all of these things were with the RT Scat Pack and your SRT vehicles. Now they've implemented it into the Dodge Durango RT. You can see that I can change the steering angle, and it'll show me what it is based on the user input. You also have G-forces and your pitch and roll, which is changed based on when you drive. That's a very nice option, and I like that the RTs now have it as well. We also have the Amazon Alexa, which you can choose to add or not. I do like what Dodge has been doing with their Uconnect system. It's easy to use, easy to interpret, and easy to learn. Now let me take this car out for a drive. I'll show you how it performs on the road as an SUV. Driving the 2021 Durango, let's take it for a quick spin so I can explain some of the newer stuff for the newer model year. Off-the-line performance seems to be pretty much the same as it did last year. The engine performance is almost identical to what it was last year, except I'm noticing that the exhaust tone is a bit louder in what I'm hearing in terms of raspiness and overall loudness. I'll show you that once we turn right from the signal. That was simply a quarter throttle acceleration in normal mode, not even in sport mode, and you can see that the exhaust has definitely been tuned to be louder. That's the first thing I noticed when driving in the newer Durango. Something that I also noticed is that the springs and dampeners seem to be less stiff than they were last year. We went over a few bumps and there was definitely less rattling in the interior. Here are some more quarter throttle accelerations. You can see the car picks up speed pretty well, and the noise that it makes is pretty nice as well. Compared to the 2020 Durango, it does deliver a lot more pleasure while driving the vehicle. I do like the way that Dodge has redesigned the car for 2021. I believe it's a nice step forward. Interesting, but okay.
Alright, lady.
Overall, I believe that the 2021 Durango beats all of its competitors as it did last year. has a V8 and has a very pleasurable drive. The first competitor for the 2021 Durango would be the 2021 Ford Explorer ST. Now this vehicle has a higher base price, but it does make more horsepower out of its 3-liter V6. The only downside to this car is that everyone will think you are a cop when you see you down the road. The next competitor would be the 2021 Kia Telluride. In my opinion, this car looks a lot worse than the Durango and the Explorer both. And another thing about the car is that it only makes 291 horsepower, which no one wants. So, if you are planning on considering these 3 vehicles, go ahead and buy the Durango. And that is the complete review on the 2021 Dodge Durango RT. Now, let's talk about the price. Originally, this car has a base MSRP of around $45,000, but this vehicle has been spec'd up to $55,615. I believe that's an okay price for what you're paying. If I were to configure my own vehicle, I'd make it black, add the black top package, dress it up a bit with the tow and go package as well. Now, I believe that this is one of the best SUVs you can buy at this price range, considering that it has a V8, which you cannot find at this price range with this vehicle's segment. In the end, I would definitely recommend buying this car if you are either family oriented or just love SUVs and driving them around town or in the countryside or on the highway, wherever you would like to go. That is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I'll see you on the next review. Keep on driving.